The power of infinite creation lies within you. Just like a woman creates a baby, just like God has created this world, just as a spider creates webs, cells regenerating, the universe creating planetary alignments, a man creating a cell phone, the list goes on. We all hold the power of creation. And I fear that there's so many people that forget that they have that power of creation because they get so used to living a life that is what society has made it to be, following the rules and regulations. But all of us are creatives, and that power lies within you. And that is what it's called to channel God energy, right? Just as God has created everything, you also have that God power within you. God lies in your soul because you are also able to create. God flows within you. Universe flows within you as well. When we think about gods and goddesses, right, we don't even think about how these humans were actually real at some point, right? We see them as gods and goddesses, but they were actually real at some point in life. Obviously, years and years ago, like the story of Inanna, who was one of the first recorded goddesses, a Sumerian goddess in the Mesopotamian area, right? She was the goddess of war and love, and she went to the underworld to save her sister. But when you hear the story, like, it doesn't make sense, right? Like, how is she going to the underworld? What does that even mean? And how is that even real? Same as if you think about Jesus, for example, right? Jesus was able to cure leprosy. Jesus was able to rise from the dead. Jesus was able to do so many things that you wouldn't think is realistic in this world right now. Same with Mary giving birth to Jesus without having intercourse, right? Like, that does not seem real. And when you think about all these stories about all these past events that have happened in the world and what we worship now as religions, from Hinduism to Christianity, these stories that we hear from all these past tense events don't seem tangible anymore. They don't seem real. The thing is that we have forgotten that we are also able to create mystic ideas. We are also able to have that kind of magic. Us humans have forgot that we have that power. Why was it so possible back in the day for all these magical things to happen, right? Like, just like all these things that you hear from different texts of like the Bible and just like Greek goddesses and gods, like, none of it makes sense in our heads anymore. Like, we see these as stories that someone might have made up, right? However, these things actually happen, and at some point in reality, it seems as if we forgot that we are able to harness that power as well as magicians do, right? Magicians are doing things that don't seem real. We see the tricks that they do and we're like, how are they even doing that? Like, how were they able, like David Blaine, for example, like, how is David Blaine able to just be underwater for so long? Like, that was one of his tricks, right? Or just like all the different things that you see magicians doing. It doesn't seem real. But that's where the power of your own God energy lies. All these people that are able to do things that seem unreal are just harnessing their God and goddess energy. And that is what we mean when we channel gods and goddesses, right? Like, when we make altars for different gods and goddesses, we're trying to channel their energy because those people themselves at some point believed that they have those powers, right? They believed in their power of creation. They believed in the power that they would be able to do the things that they were able to do. They did not have doubt in their minds. And that's where the difference is in between the things that happened back in the day to now. And that's where I've always had kind of an issue with, like, I guess, religion, right? Because you see spiritual people and mystics as like woo-woo weird people. At least like a lot of the super religious people see us that way, right? However, they worship things that happened so long ago and they believe it. Like all these different things that happened in the Bible, like that seem unreal. If you are able to believe that it happened back then, why could it not happen right now? And that's where I've always had so many questions, because I was always like, why was magic more real when the world was not as technologically advanced? I believe that it's because at some point we forgot and we lost, and somebody in the structure of this world has told us that those things are just weird, that they just tried to take that power away. Hello, Gilbert. But yeah, we just forgot that we were able to harness that kind of power. Why were these things real back then, but why is it not real now? And does anyone think about this, or is it just me? Because I'm thinking about this. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, because we all have that power to create the reality, to create the lives, to create anything, artwork, to create food, to create whatever you need or want or would like to do. All those things are possible for you to do, because everyone is a creator at the end of the day, and we all have God flowing through us. We all have the universe flowing through us. We all can make things that are tangible, intangible. We can all create magic. We are all mystical. We are all have the power to be psychic. We just don't tap into those things. And that's where a lot of people, they have to just open up their minds, right? But you also have to be around the right people and come across the right resources, like a YouTube video, to know this information. But you get my point here, right? Like, why were these things real back then, but why is it not real now? And does anyone think about this, or is it just me? Because I'm thinking about this. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, because we all have that power to create the reality, to create the lives, to create anything, artwork, to create food, to create whatever you need or want or would like to do. All those things are possible for you to do, because everyone is a creator at the end of the day, and we all have God flowing through us. We all have the universe flowing through us. We all can make things that are tangible, intangible. We can all create magic. We are all mystical. We are all have the power to be psychic. We just don't tap into those things. A lot of people, they have to just open up their minds, right? But you also have to be around the right people and come across the right resources, like a YouTube video, to know this information. Society very much has closed off that information to many people, and you have to dig within to even figure these things out. See, these thoughts that are going through my brain have been going through my brain for years. Like since I was a child, I have pondered on these things, because I've always thought about how the universe is an infinite creation, right? Like it doesn't end. Like space is something that doesn't end, and that boggles my mind. It really boggles my mind, because how is that even real? But that's the thing. Nothing is really that tangible and real at the end of the day. If Earth is able to have gravity, and Earth is able to hold all these people on it, why are there not planets that are also able to do that we don't know about, right? If space is infinite, why would there not be aliens, right? Why would there not be creatures on Mars that we are not able to see with the human eye, but exist in a different realm? That might be kind of woo-woo and crazy to think about, but you get what I mean. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that this got you thinking. I hope that it got you pondering on some things, because you're going to go back to all these mythical stories and like the Bible, whatever religious texts, and realize that like, okay, like why do we believe those things happened in the past and not right now? You know what I mean? But thank you guys so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment. Thank you.